I'm gonna try not to say the fuck word too.
We're live.
Shit. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, I think we are live. Alright. What is going on, everybody? Hello, and welcome to On the Pipe Podcast. Today is Tuesday, June the 27th, 2023, years after zero. I'm your host, as always, Tyler Shepherdson, and you're joining me just in time for an episode of Weekend Review. That's also kind of OTP Tuesday, but we've been doing this thing the past couple weeks, and to join us to talk about the weekend that was and all things off-road racing, we're going to welcome in once again Big Rig Craig. Craig Oberholzer. How's it going?
Happy to be here.
How you doing?
Recovering. I told you how it was gonna be. So just got off work, try to get bikes together, go ride some moto. Local Top Gun showdown of the world tomorrow, and
You're going to Top Gun tomorrow?
Yeah, hope so.
Dude, it was my plan to finally go to Top Gun tomorrow, but I can't.
My bike's still in Ohio. Mom and Dad got to go pick it up this weekend. So I borrowed my buddy Tommy Sherrill's RM250 with the stock 06 front tire on it, I'm pretty sure.
That's all you need.
It's not good, so I'm going to throw a 33 on it.
That's all you need.
There we go. That's what I need.
So, before we get into it, I did completely forget to mention, first of all, I'm very sunburnt, very red, can't help it, sorry about it. Second of all, was that first or second? The next point that I'm getting at is I have this brand new studio setup. We got a whole professional thing to where we're gonna run this thing like an actual production. The problem is I don't yet know how to work it, and so we're not using that today. We reverted back to our old setup, so we are going to go through that. And before we get into it, I completely forgot about it, but just a couple of things that I want to let you guys know about. First of all, we're doing these things live on YouTube. It is the intention to do them live on YouTube, to do the weekend reviews, and then get back into the interviewing people for OTP Tuesdays and hearing from people all around the sport. And we got summer coming up. And I know in years past we try to stick to those like the headlines and the people that are in the news and what's going on. But this year, trying to figure out this whole business thing has kind of kicked my butt. So that's why we kind of slacked off a little bit from it, just because there's been so much other stuff going on. But now that we got the studio, now that we got this thing going, now that so many of you are listening to On the Pipe Podcast, and I can't thank you enough for listening to On the Pipe Podcast, I want to make sure that we do it right when we come back. So I've been in here, been working on some stuff, got this right here, so hopefully we'll be putting that to use in the future. But yeah, the goal is to bring everyone on via FaceTime and talk with people and bring you a good production along with the good information that you are used to getting from On the Pipe Podcast. So if you want to check out any of the live shows that we've done so far, if you are listening to this, you can go to our YouTube channel, and then under videos you can select the live tab, and the live tab will show you the previous live broadcast. So we're live on YouTube right now as we're recording this, and I know a lot of people have had some people have had some issues going to find the previous podcast. So it's under that live tab. It doesn't show up in the normal videos tab, so I wanted to put that out there. And then I feel like there was something else to say. No, I don't remember what it was. For the time being, you'll still be able to listen to On the Pipe Podcast everywhere that you get your podcast. We're literally everywhere. Stitcher, the podcast app on your Apple iPhone, just automatically on there. Spotify, iHeartRadio, the Google Play Store, anywhere that you can get podcasts, so you can listen to On the Pipe Podcast. That's not going to change in the foreseeable future, but the goal is to try to build up this YouTube community, and I think maybe in the future we might transition to some other ways that we get the podcast out. But for right now, you can hear us in the same audio platforms you've been listening to us at, and then you can also keep up to date on our YouTube channel. And then also, as always, Beta Motorcycles. They help us out a lot. They are the official manufacturer of On the Pipe Podcast. They've been family owned and operated since 1905. They manufacture the finest enduro, trials, and dual sport motorcycles that are known for their premium quality and rideability. They're the best looking bikes on the market, and they back it up with their superior performance. Head on over to betausa.com for more information on their available models, or to find a dealer near you to get yours today. Spoiler alert, there's a Beta dealer closer to you than you would think. So check them out, betausa.com. This episode is also brought to you in part by Zach Tussle. Zach Tussle is a financial advisor and a racer. Zach Tussle raced the Snowshoe GNCC this past weekend. Craig, we're going to hear some of that from you here in a few moments. But so yeah, Zach was out there racing on the mountain alongside you guys as well. But first of all, he wants to help his clients win when it comes to retirement and financial planning, just as he was trying to win out on Snowshoe Mountain this past weekend. Go to financialadvisorsdenvernc.com to find out more information. Let Zach know you're a listener of On the Pipe podcast, and you can get a free consultation. He'll put aside some time to talk to you about your financial goals and your financial needs, and help you get it done. So find out more, financialadvisorsdenvernc.com. Now, back to your regularly scheduled program. Sorry. We were talking about it before, but like, I got obviously the thing sitting on the floor over here. We got this whole thing set up, trying to make sure everything's working while trying to be in the conversation. Sorry about that. Forgot to get that house cleaning stuff out.
Looks better than my house, I promise.
So we did make some changes. We moved. We were over there. Now we're over here, and we're trying to make it happen. But let's start with you. How was your weekend? Did you race?
No.
Nobody brought your bike from Ohio?
No, so my bike didn't get fixed till Friday, and one of my buddies was going to bring it down, but he couldn't fit 3 bikes and all the gear in the back of a short bed. So
No, the attitude he couldn't.
no, that's what I said too. But after I seen 2 quick fills, 2 gear bags, and I had one of them, I forget what all he has, like a big fuel cell in the back of it or something. And he came pulling in, and he had 2 YZ250Fs shoved in there, everything in the middle of it. You could not have gotten the bike. He could have, but he would have had to put a bunch of his gear bags and stuff in the back of the truck. So did not get it. But
Sounds
on the
like-
way,
Sounds like team player.
yeah,
Could have been. Could have.
freaking loser. But on the way, so the night before,
Don't tell me you bought a bike.
I bought a motorcycle. I PayPal'd the guy at 3 in the morning for a 80 model XR 500, and I paid him extra $100 to bring it like an hour and a half east to meet me on 77 in Beckley.
Oh, so he wasn't going to Snowshoe. This
No,
is just...
no. He was in Grundy, Virginia. Nice guy, Richard.
We went down to the Grundy County auction.
Yeah, looked like a hell of a drive. I didn't want to go. So I paid him just to come meet me on the side of 77.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so my XL 175, we took to Snowshoe for a pit bike, did not run all weekend. It might have been because it fell off a hitch hauler last week,
Nah.
but I don't know. It ran a little bit, but not very well.
Did it run since it fell off the hitch hauler?
So it did. It ran really fine, and then I took it home and rode it around the house and it rode fine, and it got to Snowshoe and it wouldn't run. And I thought it was like maybe the jetting.
Yeah, altitude sickness.
Yesterday morning it wouldn't fire up down here. Shit.
Hmm.
Maybe it's got like an inline fuel put or something. But anyway, so I got this 80 model XR 500. Runs great. It looks good enough. It's about like an ex-girlfriend. So I took it up there and I ran the shit out of it all weekend. And probably shouldn't have took it all the places I did. I mean, right before the pro race, I went past everybody and went around the first turn on it and rode a wheelie up the after the second turn to be an idiot.
In the pro race, you said?
Right before the pro race, yeah.
Did you get any cheers, any hoops and hollers?
I got cheers, but I didn't get yelled at, which I don't know why they didn't yell at me. I deserved it. I don't know. I think I was about half lit.
All the media people, they're just riding around everywhere. They don't care.
Yeah, shit.
You raced the industry class, so they probably just thought it was business as usual.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, who's this kid? Well, I cut my hair off, so they probably didn't know who I was.
Mine thought you were me.
Yeah.
No, then they definitely would have yelled at you.
Yeah. Give me your credentials. Screw you, Tyler.
I actually had my last race. I can't believe I haven't been to a race since Camp Coker. That was the last
You
GNCC
haven't?
I went to. But was it Camp Coker was after Bigger Buck, right? Or was it Bigger Buck after Camp Coker?
You're speaking sideways to me, but I wasn't at any of them.
I think Camp Coker's after Bigger Buck.
This is the first GNCC I've been to since Big Buck #1.
Really?
Dude, $45 to get in this weekend?
It was 40
$45. So it was $45 for us at the gate Thursday night.
per person? Oh, for Thursday.
What the hell does it matter, dude? Is it not 30 Thursday or Wednesday night at the GNCC?
Well, this year didn't they go up? Isn't it $30 at every other race?
Yeah, but not 45.
Well, usually Snowshoe is $5 more, but then I think they started doing like if you get there Thursday, it's an
So-
extra $10.
Chris and Kaylee Buchanan paid 35 because they paid online. But that's still bullshit.
So you save $10 for paying on top. But what day did they get there?
Thursday night.
Oh.
Same time we did.
Because didn't they do that at Ironman? They charge more money if you get there on Thursday?
And I'm sorry to do this in front of God and everybody, but I gotta
Like-
take these contacts
Like
out.
Moto? Oh, you're taking contacts
I'm
out?
sorry.
Hold on, let me get you off of there.
If we can get any sponsors to give me a LASIK, that'd be awesome.
Craig's looking for some sponsors for LASIK surgery.
I can't see shit.
I'm looking for some sponsors for On the Pipe podcast. But only if you're good. We only
You
take
just
good sponsors over
Did
here.
we get, was it Carolina Eye? What is LASIK? I don't know.
No, there's an eye doctor right next to my house. We can go talk to them. Be like, hey,
Is that Belmont?
we're here in the community. Actually, I guess they're technically in McAdenville. Because it's like right on the edge of McAdenville.
This is the biggest headache of my entire life.
While Craig is changing his eyeballs, let's talk about a little racing. Let's talk about some stuff going on. Not only, and I thought this was weird. I didn't realize this until now, but not only were we racing at a ski resort on the East Coast, but out towards the left coast, they were also racing on a ski resort. It was the Silver Kings Hard Enduro. That was at Silver Kings, ski resort.
Yep.
So the Hard Enduro was at ski resort. Because I was looking at the pictures, very photo-esque pictures. I don't know who took the ones out at Silver Kings, but it looked awesome. So it's like the same weekend out in Idaho and up in God's country, West by God, Virginia, racing on ski resorts. But like some of the coolest pictures come from Snowshoe, just because the woods look so different,
Yeah,
it's so
sick.
dark, and then you got the views when there's not clouds and storms. But then a lot of those same pictures were being taken out there at the Silver Kings, but out there it's like different kinds of mountains. So it looked pretty cool. But I didn't realize that place was at a ski resort.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a Hard Enduro this weekend. I kind of realized it because I seen
Do
Lyndon
the
in
program.
I'm sorry.
I'll be honest with you, if Lyndon wasn't there,
Yeah, I seen Lyndon out there, got to do some investigating, and seen Will and him were out there, so I was like, okay,
Yeah.
they're racing.
I saw him on I think the first thing I saw was him on Snap Maps.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
So I seen that, and then I seen a thing where Billy Bolt got hurt, and he made like that post I was telling you about. Where he was like, yeah, sorry, I can't come, and they said all the Europeans were gonna be over there.
Yeah.
So I just kind of assumed.
So I saw a bunch of stuff leading or after the race. Like since the race ended, like since yesterday to today, I've seen a bunch of stuff like race reports, race recaps, and all sorts of stuff. But going into the race, I didn't see anything really.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so Lyndon was out there with Will Reardon, our buddy. Their training partner, their roommates,
Neighbors.
and part of that Oz Ranch crew that's up here in North Carolina. So Lyndon's still not. I guess he's back on the bike. He's riding now. He posted a couple clips of him riding. So that's cool to see him back on the bike and riding. But obviously not risking it coming back before summer break. Going to take the summer to train, presumably. So he accompanied Will Reardon out there, doing a little pit crewing out at the Silver Kings. Will had a good ride, man. He ended up 5th place on the day. But looking at the overall results, you got to talk about it. You cannot talk about Hard Enduro without talking about Tristan Hart. And he's just been crushing it lately. Like everything, internationally, here, he led a little bit of Erzberg, was on the podium at Erzberg, and then this past weekend at the Silver Kings Hard Enduro, he finished his 2nd consecutive clean sweep of the U.S. Hard Enduro Series. So Tristan Hart takes the win. He won every single round this year, and he won every single round last year. So the guy is the guy to beat. Speaking of the guy to beat, Alfredo Gomez, he had a good ride. He's doing his own privateer program, the AG stuff. I guess he was in contention for the win, ended up having a bike failure. He's riding the Raiju, which was the pre-KTM gas. They were sick bikes. That's what we had at Full Gas, that gas.
It was good.
Yeah, I like those bikes.
Yeah.
But from my understanding, I don't think Raiju has changed anything about them. I think they're the same bikes. But they had good motors. They had KYB suspension on them. But those Raiju, I guess, bought the patent or bought the rights to the bike or whatever. But that's what Alfredo Gomez has been riding this year. So I guess he had a little bit of a bike failure that took him out of contention. But from what I understand, he was out in front for a while. But Tristan Hart takes the win. Cody Webb was battling back and forth and leading for a little bit. And from the sound of it, he had a pretty gnarly crash. And Cody Webb is a guy that, really cool guy. Like, really cool, fun dude to hang out with and stuff. But he's been plagued. I don't want to say plagued, but he's been through the ringer with some injuries. He's had some serious injuries in the past. He had a bad crash, from what it sounds like, high-sided down a downhill section. So that took him out of the lead, or the battle with the lead. He would still get third place on the day. So Tristan Hart takes the win. Ryder LeBlond would end up in the number 2 spot. And then Cody Webb, like we said, would round out the overall podium. Colton Haker in 4th, and then Will Reardon rounds out the top 5. But have you seen some of the pictures and stuff from it since yesterday, or no?
So the only thing I seen was Ryder LeBlanc's race report. That's all I've seen. I haven't seen anyone else's actually.
Gotcha.
So we were just talking about it because I didn't check it yet until I hadn't been on Instagram since yesterday, I guess. And I seen we just got done talking about it, and right before we started, I clicked on there, and that was the first thing I seen.
Yeah.
Looked very similar to Snowshoe.
It did.
Yeah.
It was cool. But that's what I was thinking. I was like, how ironic is it that 2 races at ski resorts?
I'm so surprised they do that too.
What?
Like,
the ski resorts?
Yeah. I can't believe they still do the Snowshoe. Dude, that place is tore down.
They made a gajillion dollars though.
I don't know. I guess Snowshoe itself doesn't care, but like the businesses up there, I think they hate it.
I think
Like the
pretty much
bars
everyone
on
hates
Sunday,
it
yeah,
except
it's
for
not good.
GNCC.
Yeah. Well, unless maybe Snowshoe itself, but like the pizza place right there across from Junction.
Yeah.
Dude, that place was Friday night was fired up, and they had like 3 people working there.
So also right before the race, like leading into the race, someone in the GNCC group said something about Howard's Hole, and someone commented on it and said, "What's Howard's Hole? This is our first year going."
Oh shit.
And I posted a link to my YouTube video that I did last year from Howard's Hole. And I said, "This is Howard's Hole." And then that got shared everywhere on Facebook. And then I go to Instagram, and it like blew up again, like just made its rounds again, a year-old video. And it was kind of going wild. But then the interesting thing is last year when I posted it, you just see all the stuff about the races or the racers and stuff going on. This year when it started going again, dude, probably 2 out of 3 comments were people saying that like it's a disgrace that Snowshoe allows this, and these people do nothing but litter and get drunk and tear stuff up, and they should never be allowed at Snowshoe. And
say it to our face.
Seems like the consensus is that people don't want to race up there.
Everyone at Howard's Hole loves it, so.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they should stay on top of the mountain and watch Goodwill Hunting in the damn apartment or something, because we had a great time.
Dude, it looked just as crazy as ever. But like, I've never seen that side of it. Like, I've never heard anyone get mad about Snowshoe, like the way that those comments were going, like talking about it and stuff.
So I never heard anyone. I mean, I have. I've seen people walk down there before and immediately turn around because all they seen was girls earning some beads, and
you'll have that.
And helicopters running around. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen some things that are a little bit, I've seen some things that I wouldn't want my mom to see. But I've never heard, you know, I don't know, everyone's so opinionated.
Yeah. Well, it's like that, the video of Ben, it's like half the videos, or half the comments on there is like, I can't believe you guys littered and threw plastic on the ground. Like, I guess it's like the people that...
Tear-offs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then, you said you weren't going to say that, as you said it, the very first thing on the show.
Should have told me you should have put a green light on your camera. I didn't know, not my fault.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting, because like I said, I don't remember seeing any of those comments or anything like that about Snowshoe in the past, and then it seems like everything was just littered with people talking junk about people having fun in the mud.
Well, they can stay at the house then. Dude, it was bad. Like, I always go to Howard's Hole. I don't like being down there the whole time. Like, I can't get down there and get hammered.
Yeah.
I can't. I've done it, but I don't like to. This year, I get there a little bit later. Let me think. We get down, and the first thing I see whenever I meet up like Big Tom and them is a girl getting drugged by her ankle. Someone had her ankles, someone else had her head, like in her hair, drug her out. And she had a whole thing of beads, like 13 beads around her neck. She'd been earning them.
Trying to...
She was blackout drunk.
Okay, I was going to say trying to rescue her or trying to
they did rescue her, yeah. They got her out of the hole. She was laying in the water, and she was getting sick. Like, she couldn't do anything. And they had the squad cam guard.
Okay.
And when we got back up there, I don't know if it was for... Everyone had said that she got put in the ambulance and taken to the hospital. She was bad. Like, she needed a stomach pump or something, because they just get down there and they get so tore up. Like, I'm sure everyone's seen the video of the girl that like fell backwards, hit her head off the rock, and is laying there in the hole. Did you see it?
This year?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Girl sitting there hanging out doing whatever, and she was flying back, hits her head off the rock, and is laying there half knocked out. and they pick her up and drag her out. That's not even the same girl I'm talking about.
Was this before the race or during?
I think they got her out of the way right when, I think it was right after the first lap, because there was only like 65 quads in the 3 hour.
Really?
There was not many. There was like 6 minutes of quads, and then there wasn't anything for 30 minutes.
Dang.
Except Adam McGill, because his bike sucked water and he was sitting there chugging beers.
I did see some videos of him down mixing it up.
He wasn't scared of it. Yeah. But yeah, it was not good. There was 2 guys fist fighting in the middle of in front of everybody, and a whole lot of belly flops. But it was good. I mean, it's always good, especially if we had a bunch of people in our friend group. It was their first time going. They're like, "What in the hell is this?" And it is. It's almost like a culture shock because it's not like normal dirt bike racing. It's way different.
It's not like normal anything.
Not normal. There's no other GNCC like it. There's nothing close to it. I mean, you go to I mean, it's very. The only thing I would compare it to is like Redbud. Like, if anyone went to Designations last year,
Yeah.
Redbud, when they're trying to flip the U-Haul and stuff, that's very similar. That is the same crowd, same energy.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I had never actually been down there before. First of all, the crowd on Sunday is completely different than the crowd on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I had been down there on bike day before, but I had never been down there on quad day, and I had definitely never been down there before the race. And that's when it's the craziest.
Yeah, because dirt bikes don't get stuck down there. It's not hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's very inconvenient because I'm not a super good rocker, I'm a good motor rider, but not like rocks and roots and shit like that. But it's still not bad to go through. But the quads, like XC2 quads were coming in, they get caught on the A-arm, in between the A-arm and the skid plate, they just flip right in front of everybody.
Yeah.
They come flying and hauling ass. And then by the time they stood up, the rednecks had already flipped their stuff over, started it, had a cigarette in their mouth. All right, bud, go ahead and take off. And they go flip into the water hole again. There's just, everyone, it's such a claustrophobic area. And there's just always action for the 5 minutes that they all come through. And then eventually, halfway through the race, it's spread out enough.
Well, it's like also, too, everyone's down there, like, partying, having a good time. And before they get down there the first time, you don't know where the race lines are. Like, you don't know where people are going to go. So then last year, like, there was a dude, like, just waterfalling liquor bottle, like, whiskey. Like, not beer, like, chugging liquor.
Yeah.
And then he was, like, the main dude. Of course, like, before the second lap even happened, he got ran over and taken out. But, like, dude, everyone's just kind of standing there. And then all of a sudden you hear the quads coming down the hill, but you don't know where they're going. And then all of a sudden you see people flying and getting hit and pushed off the track. And
yeah, and then they're like, why'd that guy hit me? Like, get the hell out of the track, dude.
Because you're on a racetrack.
Yeah, get the hell out of the way.
I did see Cole Richardson, I think it was. Did you see his post about it? It was the first, like, negative feedback I've seen from a rider, but he posted something about, like, the people in Howard's Hole this year, like, grabbing people's tear-offs, like ripping their tear-offs off, or like pulling their roll-offs, or dumping beer on people.
So yeah, one thing I did see was they would be busting beer, like people would be going by, and they'd be spraying beer on riders.
Yeah.
So like me and Trip Cheryl,
yeah,
his girlfriend was standing beside me when they were coming down during the bike race yesterday, or I guess Sunday, when they were coming down from Pro Pits to downhill before you get on the road, right there on West Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, it was like Grant Baylor came down and was making the left onto the slippery road, and they're like busting beer bottles open and spraying them on the riders. I was like, hey dude, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And then, so they were right on the edge. So you know how sometimes they jump right off the road right there, and there's a little bit of grass, they can get traction on.
Mm-hmm.
Then someone got their ankle ran over, and they're like, whoa, what do they think they're doing? I'm like, that's what you freaking get to. Get out of the way. Like, it's cool, and you could stay, 2 more feet away, and you'd be perfectly safe. But don't be like spraying riders and then get mad when you're too close to the track and you're getting hit in the ankles by a freaking gummy tire. That's what you get. Get out of the way.
See, when you're talking about dudes that are doing that for a living too, like, it's one thing to have a good time, like cheer people on, but that could affect someone's whole race.
Yeah.
Which means affects their paycheck.
Yeah. But I mean, most of those guys have probably never been to a dirt bike race in their life. They're just there to get tore down. Whatever. But just, be halfway respectable about it, I guess. I
wonder how many people couldn't tell you anyone's name at a GNCC, but show up at Snowshoe just because they've heard it's a good time.
25%.
You think so?
Which I think is a lot considering there's so many riders. So, yeah, 25% of them guys, you don't give a shit.
How many? Do you think there's anybody that like just planned this weekend not knowing what was going on? Like went up there to go ride.
There's a bunch of mountain bike guys there. There was a bunch. It was a good weekend for me. I guess it wasn't the biggest weekend because there was some rain.
Because they still keep like the mountain bike open on the other side.
Yeah, Chris and Kaylee were riding Friday, and they weren't riding Saturday, but Friday, they were riding mountain bikes all day.
Yeah, could you imagine, like, thinking you're gonna go to a nice peaceful weekend in the mountains, and that's what you show up to?
And you're like, oh man, why is the room so expensive this weekend?
Yeah. What's Howard? What's
Howard?
What's up with Howard's hole?
Yeah, dude, don't. Funny thing about Howard's Hole this year, so me and Austin Sudworth and Trip Little Lady, we took pit bikes down.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, screw it, we'd already been drinking, dude. We are not walking down that hill.
Yeah.
I took the XR500, they took their pit bikes, and we came.
XR500
It's big pit bike. And on the way out, I was about half tore down, and I just told Trip, and I don't even smoke. All right, Mom, I don't smoke. But I told Trip, allegedly, by smoking I drink. I said, man, I'm having a cigarette right now, just joking around. Here comes this redneck. Man, he said, I don't really walk up this daggone hill. Why don't you give a white man a ride? He kind of talked like Chase Hayes. And I said, man, what you got right there? You got a little stove for me or what? He said, man, I got 2 cigarettes for you, man. You can go to the back of that motorcycle. So he actually said he had 1. He pulled 1 out, and 2 came out, and it went in mud. I said, I want that one too. So I put that one behind my ear and lit the 1. He lit 1, and I took him out of there, bud. Broke back mountain, took him out of the woods.
You were chain smoking then.
I don't care. I don't care at all. Took him up there, came back. There was some chick sitting there walking. Took her up, came back down because Trip's old lady dropped her phone somewhere. We weren't looking. And there was this dude about to have a heart attack. He said, man, about 100 more yards there. He said, I don't know if I can do it. And I put him on there, bud.
Dude,
lit up that second cigarette. Lit up that second one, bud. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Uber Craig back in action, mountain edition.
Yeah, not a single bit of tread on the back of that tire, too. I think it's got a 23-inch front wheel. What am I going to do with that? So that XR200 I just sold to Scotty.
Yeah.
I already called him back and said, hey man, I need to borrow that front wheel off that bike. It's a 21 and it'll fit right on there.
Can you even get 23-inch?
No, no, hell no. And it feels it's huge. It's wobbly. So, and the spokes are not strong, which I can't imagine the XR200 spokes are going to be any better, but at least I can run a 21-inch Dunlop on or something.
23-inch front, that's got to be like a damn 1.5 foot long spoke.
Yeah, and I'm too fat and I do stupid things. I'm telling you. You get someone halfway capable in one of them things, they can do pretty good until that front wheel explodes.
Yeah.
That's a downer.
That is. That'll get you every time.
Yeah, that's the vintage days river.
Vintage days.
Yeah, the Snowshoe, it was good. Everything about it was good. I mean, I don't think any of our friend group did anything too stupid. Everyone was having a good time. I mean, there's 3 or 4 houses. I mean, like, Justin Griffin and Motley and them were down the road. Tom and them were one place. We were up at the top of the world. Coffee and them were right next door to us, so we'd make our rounds every night.
Seemed like a pretty low-key weekend for a snowshoe.
Yeah, you'd be so proud of me. Saturday morning, I woke up at like 8 and didn't have a headache.
Heck yeah.
Gnarly. I did really good.
You try harder next time.
No. Last year knocked me out of contention to ever do that again, I think. It was so bad.
I was going to day trip it, but that's a lot.
Small lady balls.
To get all the way up there, film the race, get all the way back. Didn't seem fun.
It was a great time.
Should've.
It was good. I'm glad that I didn't get my bike because I would have raced. And I'm glad I didn't. Because I just put a clutch in it and just put a tire on it.
Did the weather end up being alright?
Yeah. It rained most of the day Friday. Thursday we got up there, it was raining. Saturday it was kind of on and off, but it was good. Yeah. Track was gnarly.
Dang.
Yeah.
We'll get into the results real quick, and then I want to hear more about the track from what you were able to experience out there. But we mentioned last time we saw our first ever multi-time winner in 2023. Now we got another person in that column. Ben Kelly went out there and took the win. Jordan Ashburn in the number 2 spot. As everyone remembers, last year Jordan Ashburn got his first career win at Snowshoe Mountain. So he backed up, 2nd place finish this year. And then Johnny Gerard back on the box once again, 3rd place finish on the day. Stu Baylor would end up in 4th. He led some of it from what I understand, and then Grant Baylor would round out the top 5. So Ben Kelly taking that win, and the second 2-time winner of the year. In the XC2 class, Liam Draper would take the win. Seemed like he was in control of that thing pretty much the whole time from what I could see. Took over the points lead with that win as well. Rui Barbosa still have a very solid ride, still right there in the points, second place on the day for Rui. And then Gus Reardon would end up on the overall podium with a third place finish. Grant Davis, fourth place on the day. I was surprised. I was going to say I'm not surprised, but I was surprised. Fourth place on the day for Grant Davis. Solid ride for him, especially coming off of being announced that he's going to be on the ISDE team, the junior trophy team. That's a big deal.
Grant?
Yeah. And so he's on the junior team.
That's sick.
And then goes out, backs it up with just barely off the podium at Snowshoe. And then Cody Barnes would end up in fifth place overall. Well, fifth place in XC2. And then Thorne Devlin. Dude, we've talked about Thorne a few times on the show this year. I need to get him on the show. We need to hear from him. We need to talk to him.
I was running around them most of the weekend. I've seen them a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while because he hasn't been racing GNCCs.
No, it's him and Josh Latcha, and there's a. I keep forgetting the guy's name. He was filming for Thorne the whole weekend, and he's got bleached blonde hair, little pedo stash, home dog, good dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Zach Bryan?
No, he does. He does YouTube. He's something gang, Slam Gang. He told me his YouTube name was Slam Gang. He was doing videos, and he was fired up all weekend. He was running around Howard's Hole.
Oh,
shooting
really?
with his head cut off, getting the shots. He was all fired up.
Dang.
He's a good dude.
Hope we can see some videos come out of it then.
Yeah, but I was talking to Thorne before it, and he's been riding really good. Like all the videos I've seen and stuff, he looked good. And I asked if he was running XC2. He said, no, dude. He said, XC3. I was like, ooh, that ought to be good.
Well, is it, so like during the race, like I was out on the lake, so I was like keeping tabs on like GNCC Live, and so I was looking at XC2, like seeing how Gus was doing, like seeing how Liam was doing, like checking in on everybody, and then the Beta Boys, of course, and then I was scrolling through Instagram later that night, and I saw something about Thorne, like winning or getting it done or got the win or something. I was like, what do you mean? Like, did I miss something?
He smashed his head pipe like first lap too. It was mangled.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
He did good.
But yeah, I saw that and I was like, I thought Liam won. And I went back and looked and I saw that he raced XC3.
Yeah. That's sick.
So that's sick. Yeah, that's what we need to get him on here and talk. He only won by 10 minutes.
That's it?
Yeah, like barely. Could have done better in my eyes, but it was a decent ride, I guess.
Yeah.
So Thorne Devlin took the win. Zach Hayes, former champ, he gets second place, and then Jace Knott would end up third place on.
Jason Knopp smoked my ass at a GP in Ohio 2 weeks since last weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Last weekend?
Yeah, the weekend before Snowshoe.
Dang.
He did do that.
Well, that was on XC3 podium, so you shouldn't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, I didn't feel too bad about it then either.
Well,
Beat me by like 3.5 minutes.
shit. Dang. Shit. I do gotta give a shout out. 2 shout outs. They finished back and forth in the order. First shout out, Jesse Ainsley, 941 boy. He his mom or his parents' house is like 10, maybe 15 minutes away from my mom's house in Florida.
Yeah.
We got the same area code, no big deal.
Always.
Top privateer. He was a top privateer rider. That was that finished the race. 13th place overall was Jesse Ainsley, but
What did he get in XC2?
I give up. What?
I said, what did he get in XC2?
No, I said I give up. What do you get?
I thought I'm asking you. I'm sorry.
Well, you were quizzing me.
No.
Let's see. 1,
He
2,
said 13th
3,
overall.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Man.
7th in XC2. Top privateer. Talk with him a little bit about the privateer stuff. We need to get Jesse on the show too. I think he's got some things to say. But in 14th place overall was the top amateur of real life Tyrannosaurus Rex, Nick DeFeo.
Yeah.
Top am on the mountain. So I thought that was cool. So I want to give him a shout out.
I asked him if he was going to make any money this weekend or if he'd be getting any women. He said, no, man, I can't do it. He said, I'm sick of them. I was on the XR500.
The women are making money.
I think both of it. I was on the XR500. He was on an e-bike. He might not even.
Wonder how that works. Did he make some money for being top am? I guess so.
I have no idea. I was just talking shit to him.
He's cool.
I thought he was JoJo at first. I just seen a Babbitt's thing and a little fella. And I started talking shit. He turned around. I was like, oh, that's T-Rex. Sorry, bub.
JoJo's probably a little bit thicker than T-Rex.
Still a little.
JoJo's like a little pit bull.
Yeah.
That's how I think of him.
Like a French bulldog.
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos of this French bulldog?
Yeah.
Dude needs his balls cut off. Dude is gnarly.
Who, JoJo or the
Both of them. Dude, they're both not great.
Dude, that's funny. Cooper Jones, second place, top am, and then Mike DeLosa.
Huh. I
So
thought Gavin Simon, I thought he won 58.
2 out of 3. He did. Well, no, he didn't. He got 25th overall.
Dude, so at one point during that race,
Cooper Jones won 258.
at one point during that race, it was Tyler Palmer and Gavin Simon way out front.
Really?
Like, way out front.
What happened to Skinny Ripper?
So he'd been having issues with his 250F this year. So they brought a brand new 252 stroke out.
I thought it was weird he was on a
He
two-stroke.
blew it up.
I saw the
No
picture
good.
now of the piston.
Yeah. With the what?
He posted a picture from on his Instagram thing.
Yeah.
The last picture is the side of his cylinder or the
I think
side of
those
his
things
piston
are-
just
Was it me and you talking about it?
melted.
Me and someone were talking about it earlier. Those things, those new TPI bikes might run a little bit lean for the mountain.
Isn't it supposed to adjust?
I think they still get mapping.
I thought that was the point.
I think it's just like 4-strokes. 4-strokes can run lean, just got mapping.
Yeah.
I think they just took it out of the box. It was just a little bit lean.
Did he
He
have
was
any time
ripping
on
on
it
it,
before
dude.
up there?
I think he said he rode it around like briefly, but it was brand new. He was ripping on it too. I got some
Dang.
clips I need to send to him.
Yeah.
Him and Gavin Simon were, I think, way out front whenever I was watching.
Dude, he's one of them guys, like, it seems like he's had a couple, like, issues and stuff come up this year, but, like,
I think he's had like 4 DNS because his bikes blew up.
yeah.
And he went through 2 wiring harnesses, 2 races in a row. Wiring harness burned up on his 250Fs. They're brand new ones.
Better than catching on fire. Sorry,
Mm.
Tyler. No, I'm just kidding. But, no, like, so, my beta I gave mine back to Palmer, and then I got the new one from
Premium
them
quality
while I was
and
up there.
reliability.
Oh, yeah. BetaUSA.com, find a dealer near you. That's the dealer near me.
1905.
So, yep, family owned. But no, so I was talking to him up there, and I think it was the round right before Bigger Buck, because he was calling himself the Tiger King, because he does pretty good out there. But no, it's just, I think he's at that point of like figuring out, is this going to be a career, or do I need to go find something else to do? And it sucks to like see the results not be what he wants them to be and what they could be this year, because I don't want that to like factor into his decision, because he is a dude that can be up there. And he is a guy that's very young. And he is a guy that's
14th
very
overall,
fast.
didn't he? He had like a top 15 overall twice this
I
year.
think he's had a couple, yeah.
Yeah, that's fast as shit.
Yeah,
Especially when there's 9 XC1 guys.
yeah. So,
Maybe 8.5, 7. I don't know. There's a couple.
just hope that this doesn't deter him. Because like you said, like for them two to be that far ahead up there, like, he's got it. They just need to put it all together.
And not to tell anyone, but Gavin Simon was hammered on Friday and Saturday night. Sorry, Miss Simon. but
Helps with,
he was on one.
really?
Yeah.
Is he of age?
I don't. Did I say Gavin Simon? I meant Dylan Delacruz. My bad. Dylan Delacruz was foaming from the mouth doing push-ups on the junction. I had Jay Leeds had her little monster disposable,
Yeah.
and I took his picture of him. And he's like foaming from the mouth, staring out like
Oh my god.
fired up. Everyone
What-
was
what night was
tore
that?
down Friday.
Friday?
And Saturday he wasn't doing nothing, but
Yeah.
I think Gavin was fired up.
Let's get
No,
that
no, that wasn't Gavin. That was Mitchell Owen was fired up at times. Maybe Gavin. They were all
They
tore down
both
Friday.
All of them.
They were all tore down. It was awesome. I loved it,
Yeah.
but not skinny. All business.
All business.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. My sentiment from Tyler Palmer was keep at it. You got it. Keep at it. No, it bummed me out when we were having that conversation, like to see like that's what he was thinking, and then like I said, bike issues, and now another bike issue. It's like there's more to that story.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying. WIC Rachel Archer won by like 3 laps or something. No, 12 minutes. Rachel Archer won. Extended that points lead. Extended that number 1 plate. They got a little bit wider backgrounds. Rachel Goodish, end of the day, number 2 spot. And then Preston Rains on the overall podium once again with a third place finish. Corey Steed fourth, Jocelyn Barnes fifth. So I don't know what the story was there. Corey was right behind Preston, so I don't know.
So
seems like a battle for that final podium spot.
Jesse was telling me on the line for 3 hour. He said that Ansley. He said he was videotaping. He videoed. Who'd you say got second? It was Rachel Goodish.
Goodish, yeah.
Preston got around her, and then right at the very end, coming into, I think it was coming into the finish, there was a lapper that went wide to let him go by, and it was in the fast line, and he just stopped, and Preston just rammed the back of him.
Oh,
And
lapper?
then, yeah, and then Goodish got around her.
Mm.
So Preston almost got second. Like, should have got second.
So that's what I read, that she was like in second
Yeah.
and almost had
He's
it.
got it on video. He's gonna,
Really?
Yeah, he's gonna throw it in the vlog.
I was about to say, it's gonna be in the vlog. Gotta watch it out. Yeah, shout out Jesse Ansley's vlog. Go check him out. I think there is, I don't know. I don't want to get in too much of a Jesse Ansley love fest, but I've talked about it several times on the show,
Yeah.
but like his vlog, dude, I've straight up like seen kids at the track, and I probably said it on the show, so sorry if I'm beating a dead
Go
horse.
past Ben, go past Stu, walk straight up to Jess and say, "Can I get your autograph?" And they're
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
Or like want a
Jesse
picture
just
with him.
smiling.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like want a picture with him, want him to sign something,
Yeah.
buying Jesse Ansley shirts and like
Yeah,
the merch
sick.
and stuff. So I just, social media is a big thing that we've talked about on the show in the past, and Stu's talked about it on the past, and it's such a big thing. But like you look at a guy like Jesse, like he'll be the first one to tell you his GNCC results haven't been what he expected them to be.
Yeah.
Like coming off a mini bike, the kid signed a deal on mini bikes, won 2 XC3 championships, like supposed to be the next guy. That hasn't happened. But still, he's built this up for himself, and he's built that YouTube up, and he's built Jesse Ansley up as a brand,
Yeah.
and he's still very relevant. Like with the fans, we won that Pro 2 championship and stuff too. But even him being a privateer and doing his own thing, like not on the Trail Jesters team this year,
Yeah.
it's cool to see what he's built.
Yeah, he's good.
And now he's even catching passes for second and third place at WXC and put him in the vlogs.
He said, man, he said, I don't know. He said, I thought about offering it to give it to Preston. He said, but I think she might be pissed if I He said, is that disrespectful to like offer to send her that video? He goes, I just put the vlog.
Yeah, give it to Goodish.
Yeah. Oh.
No, that's crazy that he caught that.
Yeah.
What was the other part? We were talking about something else right before that.
Coffee laid down the fastest lap time of the morning race and then broke his foot.
Oh yeah, he broke his foot.
He says he did. He
You
sent me a
didn't tell me that
video.
part.
It's black.
Okay.
It's a good one. It's
So-
probably not broke, but it's sore.
You said that was the second lap. What happened first lap?
So I need to quote this. I have my phone. Who's the guy that does all the videos for Enduro GP?
I give up. Who?
Juzme.
Oh, Halme Solar.
Yeah.
That guy.
So he was there.
I
and
assume it's Halme.
he had a bunch of. So he had the snowshoe video on YouTube. There's a bunch of clips of coffee.
Really?
Ripping. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. And my buddy Hunter Helmet calls me. He goes, dude, he said, did coffee race the morning race? I said, yeah. He said, man, dude, they got a bunch of videos of that big old son bitch bringing out a YZ252 stroke. And he sends it to me, and sure enough. And then I guess on the way home I heard that he had the fastest lap time of the race and stuff, which sportsman ain't, but they said he was ripping. He had a bad first lap. He got a whole shot out of his row, and he ate shit, I guess.
Uh-oh.
But I think on like the third or fourth lap, he caught a rock.
Oh, there's a couple of them out there.
Yeah, that place sucks.
What have you heard about the track this year? Like, because it kind of gets talked about, kind of gets joked about part of it being really hard, part of it being wide open fire roads. All the track descriptions and stuff that I read just said like how gnarly it was this year, and no one really talked about how the track was.
The only thing that I'd seen and heard, like talking to Josh, really, was everyone's bikes were getting hot because, excuse me, in the technical sections, like the red clay section down, I forget what the mile markers were. I guess right before the hill climb, so right before the 10. So I think it's like the 6 to the 10. There was no, it was so stagnant down there. It was pretty warm, and it had rained and rained and rained all week. They said it was just so slippery and nasty. It was just bikes were getting hot. Other than that, just outsiders looking in, it was just super wet. All the rocks were super slick. Even in that Yosme, is So how you pronounce his name?
Hame.
Hame.
Maybe.
Even in his videos, you can see like where they come up from the fire road to jump and cross the blacktop. Dude, some of the AM guys couldn't even get their bikes up on the blacktop because how slick it was.
Dang.
So I think it was mostly the rain. I mean, it's always snowshoe, it's always like that. But some years in the past that it hasn't rained at all, it's always muddy in the bottoms, but it's dusty as shit up top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it was mostly just the water just doubled the slickness of the whole place.
Did it rain on Sunday at all? It looked like
Not
it
enough
looked,
to matter. Like it did drizzle a little bit, like right before the 3-hour race,
yeah.
but not anything to talk about. I don't believe.
It looked gloomy on Saturday.
I didn't wake up till 10:30 in the morning, if I'm being honest, on Sunday because the tide went on Saturday or Saturday night.
Dang, so you missed the start.
I 100% did.
Did the morning race go through Howard's Hole?
Yes,
Did they?
I think so.
They haven't gone through Howard's Hole in a long
Hold on.
time. But I know that was part of the whole free Howard's Hole movement.
I might have lied. I'm not sure. No, I don't think I lied. I think
In front of
Tyler.
everybody?
Yeah, God and everybody. I think Tyler Bruton came walking up and said, "Yeah, I just got back from Howard's Hole." I think that was right before we were at Josh's pit, so I think they did.
Did Tussle race the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
on
that
his
video,
dad's gas gas.
that video of Tyler Bruton running through Howard's Hole next to Tussle, like point in line. So I guess they did go through it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Looked like shit.
I remember one. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it was the last year that the morning race went through it, but one of the last years the morning race went through it. I raced it, and that's when I got stuck and got that video of me getting buried up to the seat. The guy comes out of nowhere. He's like, "Hey, you want a cold beer?" So I got off the bike, sat there, drank a couple cold beers with them, while there was like 6 of them just flogging my bike, trying to get it out of there.
So that's the YZ125.
No, it was an 08 YZ250F. So my first race in my life was Big Buck GNCC. So I started riding. First time I rode a dirt bike was Christmas of 2013, and I bought a bike the next week. And that was my introduction to riding. I was 21. And that was the first time I ever rode a dirt bike in my life. My buddy let me ride his KX250 at TNT, and I was in jeans and some boots at bar. Yeah. Yeah, first bike I ever rode. And I was hitting some like doubles I shouldn't have been hitting. I was hitting doubles that day that I wouldn't hit right now. If that tells you anything.
Jiu-jitsu, Tyler.
Dude,
Didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's when my body healed.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was like the peak of my MMA training and stuff. So I was like in shape, like holding on yards. But yeah, so then I bought a bike the next week. I was supposed to race Steel Creek, but I got a flat tire. And keep in mind, I started riding in January. I bought a bike in January.
Yeah.
Steel Creek is in like February, and then Big Buck is in March. Back then. Right?
Steel Creek would have been in April.
I thought, was Steel Creek before Big Buck?
I think it always went Florida, Georgia, Big Buck, Steel Creek. Steel Creek was the last one before it went north.
Huh.
Because they didn't do the two. Either way, I understand.
Well, I thought I remember that Steel Creek was supposed to be the first one.
The last like 4 years I did is in April. But
I don't know. I've said since then.
Then again, I'm illiterate, so I don't really know.
Whatever the case, Big Buck GNCC was my very first race. And then I went and raced a Mid-East race at Falcon Farms. And
Say it again.
Falcon Farms. It was a pretty fun Falcon time. But
Spell
it was, I think it was FAWKIN. Or FAU. Falcon. I don't know, it was Falcon Farms. And it was Falcon raining the whole time. It was a Falcon mud race out there. But yeah, so that was my second race. My third race of my life was Snowshoe, GNCC. And that's the year I got stuck, drank a couple beers.
On a carbureted 08 YZ2 video.
Yes.
Nice.
In whatever the clearance gear was that was on Motorcycle Superstore that year. With like a $60 HJC helmet that I got off Facebook Marketplace. Whole 9 yards. I had Tech 10s on them. So
Squad ups.
that was the third race of my life. And so that's June. I've been riding 6 months.
Yeah.
I wouldn't race Snowshoe. And it was only like a few weeks after I had an AC separation too. So that's my first Snowshoe story.
I was just checking. It's freaking dark. I can't believe it.
Yeah. What time is it? Oh, it's almost 9 o'clock. So the one thing I did kind of allude to it before we came on here, and I said, no, wait, I'm going to talk about it on the show. You are with me in this, just like Stu Baylor is in me, or is with me on this. What?
No.
What? You don't know what I'm getting at.
No. Yeah.
We gotta. It's time to eat some crow. We talk about things on this show, and we gotta talk about the things when we're wrong, or things about maybe not wrong. Hey, point I'm getting at. Long story long. This past weekend, I just closed it already. There had been some rumbling and bumblings between you and I, and between me and other people, and other people and other people, about the KTMs and the bikes and how they're doing this year, and how it's hard to get them working, hard to get them feeling good. Well, two of them were on the XC1 overall podium. Ashburn was the other one, who has also been having troubles with that Husky, presumably. And then third and fourth place in XC2. I guess the 125s didn't really change much, but that was one thing I noticed. Like, that's been a point of contention here lately, is talking about the KTMs and getting them working and figuring out this new year model and carrying that into next year. And then I looked at it and it's like, well, I mean, you got first place KTM, second place Husky, third place KTM, fourth place KTM. So it can't be that bad.
You know how at the beginning of Supercross last year, that like Cooper Webb and I don't think AP was doing like the hottest as soon as he got on the KTM, but like Cooper was having a terrible time. And they kept saying it's because of the bike and he couldn't get it to go through the whoops, or couldn't get it to turn.
Yeah.
That's like the same. Everyone had the same issues, and now we're halfway through. And I mean, I was saying about this the other day, and I haven't asked anybody, but shouldn't they be getting 24s anyway? Maybe the 24s have fixed everything. Didn't everyone get 24s? Like, this is the time. I just rode a 24 300 XC 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, as far as the mapping issues and stuff, maybe they already have the maps in them and stuff. But
Do you know, is the race team on the new bikes?
Stu wasn't 2 months ago, but that's the only thing I've asked him. But I haven't asked anybody else.
Well, I mean, that's also 2 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't said anything about it. I mean, the last time I talked to him about it, he'd just been testing it. He went up to the week before Snowshoe. He was up in Mass or Maine or wherever he was at, testing with Factory Connection. And I know Ben was testing.
I saw Ben like out in California testing.
Yeah, he was out in California testing. So I mean, I don't know. I'd also heard that like Craig had a bunch of stuff done to his bike that like changed a bunch of stuff up just to make it work the best for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know all those things. That's just things I'm told.
So I mean, maybe they've had this time, and maybe they found some breakthrough.
Well, I remember last year. Do you remember when they put Josh on the 23 at whenever his last 4 races with KTM last year?
Mm-hmm.
That thing ran like shit. It was horrible. It'd get hot and cut out. He'd get like top 5, top 3, and it'd start popping and cracking and running like shit.
I didn't know all that.
Yeah, but his practice bike that I rode, it was sick, but the race bike had issues. But I think 90% of that stuff's mapping. So they used like those last 4 races. They kind of used that to get the race platform for this year. But I think guinea pig. I think mine just. Like I said, we were just talking crap about this like 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So probably not a whole lot has changed. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they got a good map in it, or maybe it's just there's got suspension settings that are working better. I don't know.
But so
but
like
it does look good. I mean,
since Big Buck this year, I think we've seen the factory boys in California at least 2, maybe more than that, like 3, 4 times.
Yeah.
I know for sure I've seen them out there twice. But I wonder if that's something like if they go out there that often every year, or if they are chasing these issues this year and putting more development into changing it right now.
It doesn't make any sense to me why they go to California though to do the testing.
That's where everyone is.
Yeah, but they can fly out Matt and Dan Leon and they can do it. Like, so why would you test in California when none of that terrain is anything like what they're racing on? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, they've never had an issue with sending the WP guys out here before. But like I said, they've only had 2 people tell us what they thought about the bikes, and then they just said that everyone else felt the same. So it's kind of hard to sit here and say that all these people hate their bikes, but that's just from what we've been told.
They all hate them.
They all hate them, pieces of shit. But I mean, I like my red one. It's great.
I mean, Beta's only got 3 spots. You know what I mean? Everybody can't ride a Beta.
Well, gas. But I'm gas because Don Kelly is gas. Home dog.
Good call. But no, so but it's one of those things where like if they know that there is an issue and if they know that riders are having problems, and I'm not saying that riders are having problems,
Yeah.
but I think riders have said that riders are having problems.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. But like if they know that there's a glaring issue, I wonder if they put more resources into it because now they got that new like state of the art facility. So maybe they look at it where hey, instead of flying a team of people out to the East Coast to test with these guys, why don't we fly these two guys here?
Yeah.
Where we have all of our research equipment, we have all of our suspension settings, we have all of our guys. I guess from a feasibility standpoint, it makes more sense, other than the fact that you can't really replicate East Coast situations.
Yeah. But they said it was just a shock. Like that was, I mean, obviously, like
No, that's a big part, yeah.
Which Stu said the thing turns really good, but we just heard that in a straight line, it's like does whatever the hell it wants.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, that's not great.
Yeah.
But then again, I've put a little bit of time on one, and I mean, I'm not an XC2 or XC1 rider, so I can't tell you how fast they're going. I like the ones I've rode, but I rode my buddy Trips. His first one he had ran real good, and I rode the second one a little bit, and it pops and cracks a little bit, but we haven't rode it enough to tell. But
well,
it was about. I mean, it's the first generation those guys are racing it. It's just that's what I was thinking about the Supercross. Everyone was having issues with it last year. Now the GNCC boys have it, and you would expect all the bugs to be worked out for the Supercross guys. Like it would transfer right over.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's always like that for a new bike. I think. Like it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. First year model, you're gonna have some growing pains.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we were all just bitching about it because we figured Supercross guys were on it last year. Why is it still screwing up?
Well, then I know there was also some like internal parts that the KTM teams and the KTM engines, like the factory teams and the factory engines, they had workarounds for it.
Yeah.
Because people that weren't on those factory engines were blowing up bikes left and right.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
And it seems like that issue has kind of gotten a little bit better. Because I know part of that was like a recall part, so they might have just got them all swapped out and figured out. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because we were just talking about that not long. But also, like then again, Snowshoe, depending on how gnarly the track was and how the track was set up, like it's a completely different race than anywhere else we race all year. But I just thought it was an interesting thing. That's why I did want to bring it up, just because I feel like we were kind of hard on them. But that was also just based off of conversations that we had with people riding it.
Yeah.
I haven't ridden one, so I can't tell you my opinion of it. But I can kind of paraphrase what I've had people tell me that are riding them.
Yeah. That'll be good. Get your gas.
But, hey, premium quality. Ride them. That is the downside about being on Main Street. There's train tracks right there. There's, I don't know if there's like a, oh yeah, there's a fire department right there, like right around the corner. Yeah. So that's probably where like they was, but yeah, there's sirens, there's trains, all sorts of stuff.
A little loud for you,
but
well,
I wonder how much you can. I've never went back and listened to a show. I don't know how well you can hear it. If you're listening right now, did you just hear that ambulance go by, or did you hear the train go by a little bit ago?
Yeah, shoot me an email, let me know.
Yeah, send me a fax.
Airdrop it to me.
Homing pigeon. So I did want to point out real quick. We'll talk about the points, and then we can get out of here soon. I don't know how much time we got, but we've been at it for an hour, so I don't want to burn your whole night. It took me like damn near an hour to get this whole thing set up because I couldn't figure out the actual equipment. So next time you see us, hopefully, we'll be on the proper stuff and get it rolling. But Stu Baylor now shares a white plate with Craig DeLong. They're tied at 178 points apiece. And it gets even more heated than that because with Ben Kelly taking a win and both of those fellas finishing off the podium, Ben Kelly, 174 points. So we got leaders tied at 178. Ben Kelly at the same position that he was last summer break after missing 3 races, 3rd place in points.
Son.
So this thing's far from over.
Yeah.
And now, how many national enduros are over summer break? 2?
Yeah, probably. I think.
There's one coming up.
Ask me whenever I have a schedule in front of me.
How many national enduros?
I don't have my contacts in. I hope you know. And only one eye.
Can you see it?
Don't make fun of me.
I know Rattlesnake is coming up because Mike Lafferty and Barry Hawk are racing 45 plus A at the Rattlesnake.
Oh, dude, that's the same weekend as Vintage Days.
So if you're an old guy wanting to race 45A, you might want to find a different class that week.
So yeah, July 22nd is Pennsylvania, and then Ohio is September 9th. Which the Ohio one is the my hometown, the Little Raccoon Classic. That race is sick. So anybody who wants to race a
Yeah.
pretty dank national enduro, that is the one to go to.
So there's
One in Ohio.
There's two. There's one in 4 weeks, and there's one the week before the Mountaineer.
Yeah, I will be at that one if I can make it.
What I was getting at is 4 weeks is a long time too, but if you're Ben Kelly, which you're not, and I'm not, but I have been through the shoulder surgery he went through, and I have been through the broken leg that he went through, and right now he's sitting in a perfect position to take this championship.
Yeah.
Especially coming off of a win, going into summer break. And now he's got some more time to heal. Because I don't think he's been 100% at all this year based off of what he's said.
Yeah.
And just watching him.
Yeah. I think they're not racing national enduros has helped him a lot.
Is he? I thought he was.
I think he didn't race last couple of them.
Oh. Well, in that case, then even better. That's why I was wondering about how many national enduros there were in between the
I was
summer
under the
break.
impression he wasn't. He took off. He just worked on GNCC the rest of the year.
I don't know why I was thinking he was.
I don't believe.
Because
he's
Johnny's
racing-
not racing them. And I would imagine
He's racing
KTM
sprints,
has to have a
though.
guy there.
He's racing sprints though.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
KTM is not going to not send somebody to national enduros. They got Stu.
It's kind of hard for KTM to tell Ben Kelly what to do. Maybe he's going to win him a GNCC championship. But I think it was just in his best interest at the time in the last couple, because he was, wasn't 100% healthy yet. But that was
Yeah.
what I was under the impression of. Like I said, didn't hear from him, but I don't think he raced the last couple.
So, going off of that exact sentiment, now we have the summer break. We have these 2 full months.
Mhm.
He's not on the ISDE team. He's maybe not racing either one of the national enduros, but what he is 4 points behind in third place from the thing. So whether he's at 100%, 90%, 80%, whatever he's at,
Yeah.
I think resting and healing is beneficial for everybody.
Oh yeah.
All these guys. I mean, especially racing back to back this whole entire time since February. But what I'm saying is going into the summer break with confidence and having that 2 extra months to heal, get back readjusted to things, maybe take a couple weeks off and let your body heal and feel good.
Yeah.
And then come back, only 3 races left, 3-race shootout to finish off this championship. You got Stu Baylor, hungry for his first championship. You got Craig DeLong coming up short last year, wanting to make a redemption for that, first 2-time winner this year. And you got Ben Kelly, former champion, goes through everything he went through last year, winning the first 6 races in a row, snapping his leg in half, missing the rest of the season, and now he's right back in the mix a year later.
Yeah.
Every single one of those 3 guys has a reason to win, and every one of those 3 guys has a drive and a desire to get there and get that championship won. That's going to be an insane 3 races back when we get back.
Oh yeah, it's going to be good. And then even something else to throw a wrench in the plans. Everyone else obviously has potential to win, as you've seen all year. So it's not just between those 3 guys. Because
Yeah.
there's going to be, Grant Baylor could smoke all of them one weekend. I mean, if Josh comes back and rides the normal win on their 2-stroke, who knows what could happen there. I mean, Thad comes back. Everyone has the opportunity to win. Johnny, so it's not like it's just a 3-race shootout. It's just there's so many factors that can go in it.
But it still is, because then it's up to them to salvage points.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's so many things that can get in between them.
Yeah. Like
So-
if Grant goes out and wins,
Yeah.
then you got to make sure you're second. Because it drops off.
It just shoves everyone back.
Yep.
Points just get more. So.
And, I mean, the gap I talk about it all the time, the gap from first to third is 9 points.
Let's see.
So that's 9 points you can gain or 9 points you can lose.
Yeah.
Them 3 have been on the podium 1 time this year, and that was at the second round. So Florida.
Yeah.
Ben won, Stu in second, Craig in third. That's the only time that all 3 of them have been on the podium at the same time. But they've also all put in rides that are good enough to be leading the points right now. And
Yeah.
Craig's got 2 wins, Ben's got 2 wins, Stu won the season opener. But you look at these times, like Stu went into round 5, which I believe was Camp Coker, with the white plate, with the points lead. He got 8th place. Craig got 2nd, Ben got 3rd. That is valuable points.
Yeah.
Stu goes in and gets second place at round 7. Craig gets 5th. Ben gets 8th. That's valuable points.
Yeah.
So it's like those guys have been at the top, but they're kind of swapping around back and forth, trying to salvage all those points that, I don't know. I don't know why 3 races after summer break sounds so much different than 4 races after summer break.
I like it better, though. I mean, because first off, I love Ohio, but go back to Ohio again, that sucks. But 3, I don't know, just makes it tighter. 3 more races, way cooler to me.
Especially this tight. 4 points between first, second, third. And Jordan is there, 153 points in the 4th place spot. So that is always a possibility to make up those points. So 178, 178, 174. Tom just texted me. I want to see what it said. Oh, he texted both of us. Said, how wild would it be if Stu wins the championship with only 1 win?
Jordan almost did it.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
And this was a big thing, and I think I talked about this on the show too, so sorry for beating the dead horse again. But there was maybe some other people on a podcast that maybe had accomplished more in GNCC racing than anybody else had, that there was a lot of shade thrown at Jordan Ashburn for winning that championship last year.
Yeah.
Because of the injuries, the way things went down, the things that happened, and how he won that championship. But at the same time, you can't throw any shade at him because everyone else did get hurt.
Yeah.
Everyone else didn't finish the season. He
Yeah.
was there. He finished the season. He earned that championship. But it was said, like, winning the championship with just 2 race wins. Well, you look the year before that, the champion only won 3 races. And that was Ben.
Yeah.
That won that championship. So I think people have just gotten so used to seeing Caleb win 8, 9, 10 races a year.
Yeah.
And then when he's gone, it really shows how even the playing field
it equals
is.
everything out, and it's not a blowout anymore. So really, you have to be smooth, and you have to finish the season without eating shit every other race.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, you can be fast every weekend, but you got to be able to finish. And that's what we were saying, like at the beginning of last year. And I had said that I think Jordan, 100% has a chance because he in the year prior, whenever Ben won, he got on that Husky, and he was like top 3 almost every weekend.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, if someone gets shit, if something happens, he's gonna win, and that's what happens.
Yep.
Yeah, but then again, even when he wasn't winning, he was almost top 3 every weekend.
And
so
leading laps, leading
it's hard to
races.
sit there and throw shade at somebody. I mean, just because, I mean, obviously Caleb's greatest that's ever done it, but
I guess what I'm saying is that's what we saw as normal the past 8 years. Well, I guess now it's been 10 years, but those 8 years, we saw someone dominate.
yeah,
And I think that also puts into perspective what Caleb Russell was able to do because most of these XC1 guys were there through the majority of Caleb's years.
yeah,
And it just, to Tom's point,
Yeah.
it would be crazy seeing like a 3-race win champion, a 2-race win champion, and then a 1-race win championship. But I will go out on a limb and say that if Stu is going to win this championship, he's got to win another race.
He's got to win another race. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think either one of these 3 is going to get away with not winning another race to win this championship.
I agree, 100%.
But that being said, there's only 3 races left. There's only one person that can win this championship with more than 3 race wins.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess no, they could get 5. If Craig wins out or Ben wins out, that's 5.
Yeah.
But still, that's less than half the season. That's probably, I would have to go back and look, but that's probably less than any year that Caleb won that championship. But all of this translates into what an exciting time to be a fan of GNCC racing, an exciting time to be a part of the XC1 class, and Craig DeLong right in the mix of this thing, coming up from XC2. Maybe that inspires some more XC2 guys.
Look at Tom making the points from the house.
Yeah.
Making the points from. He's sitting in a.
Dude, that's what I can't.
Somewhere in the middle of
I
Charlotte
can't
and hanging out.
monitor these cameras, 2 computers, an iPad, and text messages coming through. I can't do it.
About to give me a seizure.
But getting into that XC2 battle, that's also going to be a battle going down to the wire. Liam Draper took over the points lead, as we mentioned. He's got 2 race wins on the year as well. The other guy with 2 race wins, Rui Barbosa, he's in second place. Ryder Lafferty actually has 2 race wins as well. But 194 points and 191 points is the top 2 there. And then Gus is right on the edge, 177. And then Cody Barnes is only 1 point back from that, so 176. Tom, I don't see anything on YouTube. That's what I was actually wondering, why he was texting us instead of commenting on the YouTube thing, because I don't see any chats coming up on YouTube.
Tom, is the Ruby comment with the shush thing, is that supposed to be said? I guess it doesn't really matter.
Tom is an influx of text messages.
Maybe
I don't see anything in YouTube
Here you
comments.
go. Maybe pull it up on mine.
Because I have it pulled up right here so I can monitor the comments, but I don't see anything. Right there, I see live chat. That's the first thing I see. It's live chat.
All I see is 21 watching, 3 likes.
Hey Tom, are we allowed to say what you said in this text message? That has a shush face next to it. Anyway, I can't make this thing be quiet. That's all we turned down. It's still doing things. So, XC3, Toby Cleveland out in front, 217 points. Dakota DeVore, 186. Old Jay Lipscomb, 181. So Toby Cleveland, he's in control of that one, but XC3 does get a couple drops, at least 2.
I think that'll help him though, because I don't know, but if so, that'll probably help him because he had a bunch of wins at the start of the year.
Yeah,
If drops, that's something that can help him, I think.
He's got 5.
Yeah, I think Jay Lipscomb's got 2. I don't know how many. Does he only have 1? I thought he won 2 of them.
But Jay would drop an 8 and a 6 if they have 2, and Toby would drop a 10 and a 7. But yeah, that probably would end up helping him.
Yeah.
Let's see. One last thing, and we're gonna look up, and we're gonna wrap this thing up. I should have been a good host and had it prepared. I want to see who was on that mountain longer than anybody else.
Stu put a story up when they were out Sunday night. Someone was out there for 5 hours.
5 hours?
That's what he says. That was on the story Sunday night.
We need to make an OTP award for this. And if you're another podcast listening to that, get your own ideas. Can't wait to hear the recap of this show on another podcast. So it looks like, yeah, the longest time out on the track, 4 hours and 11 minutes.
I lied.
Eugene Lucenti out of Denville, New Jersey. Open B. On a gas. Guess what his number is?
What? 74?
No.
511?
No. Number 511. Thief. Goober Gazer's number himself. Guess what bike he was on?
Red.
A weird red. Gas.
The correct red. Don Kelly red?
Ferrari red is what you want. And you can only find Ferrari red on a Beta because they have premium quality and rideability.
Yeah, they look spray painted, so it's different.
They look like
Well, you went to Walmart drunk, got some Rust-Oleum spray paint.
They look like fine Italian engineering. I need to ride mine. That's what I'm going to do this morning. I'm going to ride my motorcycle. Anyway, any other things that you want to point out from the weekend that think will happen?
Not from the weekend, but we do have some buddies going to ISDE, and maybe I don't know if they still have t-shirts done, but Zach Toth's going, and Josh Toth is also going on a club team now. Just found out.
When did that happen?
Like 3 days ago. I think Zach still has tickets for a 2019 250SX they're raffling off, and maybe some t-shirts, and if everyone wants to support the boys. Both totes should have T-shirts and stuff, I believe.
Yep.
So kind of just pay attention to that if anyone wants to help support the boys go overseas, kick the foreigners' ass.
Yep.
Be cool.
Cade Henderson.
Is he going?
Yep, he's going. He's selling shirts. My mind was on wrestling. That's why I said Kale. But yeah, he's selling shirts. They're doing a couple ride days at Battery Park coming up this summer too. I'm gonna try to go down for that.
Yeah.
One's a dual sport ride. They is pretty much street legal, so we'll be down there. But yeah, support the ISDE team. Only one East Coast guy on the trophy team.
Who's that?
Johnny Gerard.
Home dog. Hey, also want to shout out Steve McSwain. They're doing a ride day at Masters Motoplex, the 8th and 9th next weekend, Southwick National Weekend. So they're doing they'll have the prep motocross track in like 7 miles of woods, I believe. I just screenshotted and put it on my story. So if anyone wants to go check that out, and Scott Plessinger and Steve McSwain will have that prepped up for a ride day. I believe they're going to be using that for something maybe in the future or what have it, but it should be a good place to be next weekend if anyone wants to go ride.
Formerly GTR, formerly Motivated Motorsports, formerly Palmetto Motorsports, formerly HRD Motorsports.
Now Masters Motoplex.
Yeah.
And they said whenever I haven't been there, but and I've heard that at first it wasn't like a couple of buddies went down and like weren't big fans, but I guess they just got a little prep. Steve's been down there riding. He said it's sick. So they said whenever you pull in, they said it looks way different. Like not even close. Cleared a bunch of land. So it should be sick.
Why not? They combined that night track and the big sand track and made that one big track.
They said it's massive.
Like through that parking area.
Yeah, they said it's massive. So
it's gonna be like a 5-minute lap time.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming the wood there is always pretty good, but they never could go in and prep it, and I don't know what all they got now, but I know Steve McSwain and I know Scott Plessinger, and if they have anything to do with it, it will not be bad. It will be a great place to go ride. Hopefully, give a good turnout. Maybe they can do something with it.
Yeah. Sweet. So a lot of stuff going on this summer. I need to get on my dirt bike, do some riding. I plan to go up to a J-Day. I haven't picked which one yet, but one of them.
I'd like to.
I'll go check one out.
I've
always said it, never done it.
We got about 2 more weeks to ride modern bikes, and then we're putting them on. We're putting them in the garage. I guess the one I have got the 200, and I got the 350.
Do you need to figure out vintage day stuff?
Full swing vintage bikes. I'll be a Wednesday night Top Gun rider on the KTM 390 or the CR250.
I wish I could go. I gotta go to Carowinds tomorrow.
I sold my 95 CR250, so now I have the 79, 81 KTM, and then the XR500.
So I need to find a vintage bike to race. But with that being said, thank you for coming over. Thank you for being here, helping us out, doing a show. As always, been fun, good time. Thanks for your time.
Happy to be here.
I guess that's it. Be a friend, tell a friend. On the podcast. Don't forget to follow us or subscribe wherever you're listening to us at. Don't forget YouTube. We're going to be doing all the shows live on there via video. This summer, we're going to have some cool stuff coming up. Now that we got the studio, I want to get a lot more people in studio, so hopefully we can have some of those like sit down, long conversations and really go in depth with some people. Other than that, we'll try to get some more people in on FaceTime, get back to the regularly scheduled OTP Tuesdays. And yeah, be a friend, tell a friend. Thanks everybody for listening. We will